China is no stranger to sudden weather changes. But what unfolded in recent days has left communities shaken, homes ruined, and livelihoods broken. The skies darkened without much warning, and within minutes, regions from the bustling capital of Beijing to the farmlands of Sichuan in Chongqing were struck by fierce hailstorms and floods.
哎呀，我去吧。对，但是好像是哪看的，那也都在了，都在，没干嘛都在干。那个呢，看，为什么打到的？哇，啊！水的，我不是说没有这么多呢，完了。
The story starts in Beijing. Known as the nation's political and cultural heart, the city has endured many weather shifts. But the hailstorm that swept through on May 13th felt different. The sky dimmed, winds stiffened, and then came a downpour of ice. Hailstones struck streets, roofs, and glass windows with relentless force. People later recalled how the sound was unforgettable, a mix of rattling metal, sharp cracks, and heavy thuds as larger stones smashed into parked cars and bus shelters. Some described the hailstones as larger than walnuts. Others swore they were as big as chicken eggs. Videos shared online showed them crashing down like bullets, breaking into white shards as they hit the ground. For residents, it felt like a sudden war from the skies. Public transport slowed to a crawl. Hazard lights blinked on the city's ring roads as drivers fought to keep their cars steady. Bus routes stretched their schedules, pausing longer at stops to keep passengers safe. Metro stations blocked entrances when steps flooded and iced over. At the airports, departures were delayed as ground crews inspected runways littered with ice pellets. For a few hours, Beijing, a city of millions, felt paralyzed. The damage was worse on the outskirts and farmland areas. Orchards lost young fruit. Greenhouses, usually a shield for fragile seedlings, were torn open. Cold air rushed in, destroying crops that farmers had spent months preparing. For small-scale farmers, the hailstorm did not just damage produce, it destroyed entire livelihoods. Minutes of icy rain wiped out months of backbreaking labor. Emergency services scrambled. Dispatchers answered calls about shattered skylights, collapsed awnings, and power failures. Firefighters pumped water from basements and cleared debris from electrical rooms. Crews shoveled ice from hospital entrances to make sure ambulances could still get through. Hospitals treated injuries, cuts from broken glass, bruises from hail, and sprains from falls on slippery stairs. Volunteers handed out plastic sheeting so residents could cover broken roofs until repairs were possible. And yet, even as the skies cleared, reminders of the storm lingered everywhere. Cars were dented, windows smashed, and solar panels cracked. Insurance companies documented damage while auto shops filled with customers needing repairs. Small businesses log losses from water-damaged storerooms. Online, the phrase Beijing hailstorm is huge spread across Weibo, drawing over 410 million views. Photos of egg-sized hailstones shocked the nation. But Beijing's ordeal was not an isolated event. Just days earlier, massive hail had slammed into Gansu and Xi'an. Farmers there watched helplessly as their fields were destroyed in seconds. Some even wept as entire crops vanished beneath the ice. Metal structures collapsed under the pounding. For many, the storm brought not only destruction, but despair. Then came Sichuan. On May 14th, heavy rains triggered a landslide in Sichuan village, Xiong County. In the early morning, tons of mud and rock buried a house, leaving 5 people missing. The county government quickly relocated 24 residents living nearby, fearing more slides. Search and rescue teams, doctors, and geological experts rushed to the site. The rains did not stop. In neighboring Chongqing, downpours battered the city nonstop. Meteorologists recorded more than 100 rainfall stations reaching extreme heavy rain levels in just 24 hours. By Wednesday morning, over 550 residents had been evacuated. The threat was clear. Rivers were swelling, and some areas faced the risk of crossing flood alert levels. Authorities warned that the worst might still be ahead. The combination of hail, landslides, and floods has left a trail of destruction across multiple provinces. Markets are struggling. Farms are devastated. For farmers, the timing could not have been worse. Seedlings and young fruit, meant to bring income in coming months, now lie ruined. Protective nets are shredded. Crops that should have sustained families through the year have been erased. For those living on thin margins, recovery will be painful and uncertain. Communities now face the task of rebuilding. Insurance claims pile up, but many small farmers lack coverage. Volunteers continue to help clear debris. Local governments are providing temporary shelters and supplies. Yet the emotional scars run deep. Families speak quietly of the sudden chill, the roar of hail against rooftops, the terrifying sound of houses cracking under the storm's pressure. Meteorologists explain that such storms form when warm, moisture-rich air collides with disturbances in the atmosphere. Strong wind shear organizes the storm cells, and low freezing levels keep the hailstones intact as they fall. Inside the clouds, hailstones circulate, growing larger until gravity pulls them down. The result? Sudden, localized destruction, often with little warning. Authorities are already discussing new measures. City planners are reviewing drainage systems to account not just for rain, but also for sudden ice blockages. Building codes are being reconsidered to strengthen rooftops, skylights, and public shelters against hail impact. Transport agencies are testing adaptive speed limits for drivers caught in sudden icy conditions. And meteorological departments are working on better early warning alerts to give people more than just minutes to prepare. China has faced natural disasters before and has always pushed forward. But these storms reveal how even the most prepared cities and strongest communities remain vulnerable. The challenge now is not just repairing the damage, but preparing for what may come next. Because as the weather grows more extreme, these moments of turmoil may no longer be rare. They may become part of life's rhythm. For the farmers of Sichuan, the shopkeepers of Beijing, and the families of Chongqing, the past days have left scars both seen and unseen. But in their recovery lies the story of a nation, tested by nature, enduring through hardship, and holding on to hope even as the skies turn dark again. When skies turn violent, lives change in an instant. China now faces the long road of recovery. Stay updated with us. Like, share, and subscribe for more stories that matter.